And when you do have multiple wins mixed in with those dark nights of the soul, you build the muscle of belief and faith. And you're able to stay focused on that. But as you scale as an online entrepreneur, any sort of entrepreneur, those challenges don't go away. They just look a little bit different. And so that muscle that you're building through the beginning stages is what's going to carry you through the high level stages that you're aiming for, because you will constantly be tested in that way. So to answer your question, the biggest breakthroughs is like really holding that faith and continuing to build towards what your desired outcome, knowing for sure that it will be, that outcome will be. The way to bring that outcome to fruition more quickly is not to fall victim to the way that things are showing up.
Welcome back to the Empowered Woman, Badass and Unfiltered podcast. Your host, Olivia here, and I have a dear friend of mine. She is a phenomenal female entrepreneur. She's located in Naples, Florida, and her name is Amber Frelin. She's an intuitive business coach and the co-founder of the coaching portal community and the High Ticket Academy. Her links are definitely linked below to her free community to check her out. And you're going to want to know who she is after hearing all of this. So without further ado, Amber, tell me more about yourself.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Oh my gosh. Reconnection time. We've done some powerful work together. You spoke at our event and our audience just absolutely ate you up, loved you. You're one of those people that can go super deep, super quick, and really bring the transformational information, not be afraid to like go there. You know what I mean? So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've been doing business for a long time.
Yeah, that's right. Since 2015, tax day. How funny is that? April 15th of 15. It's also the day I met my husband, which is crazy.
Wow. So what are all of the like business ventures that you've done?
Oh yeah. So I haven't gone down this memory lane in a little while, but it's so fun to do it. I started network marketing. So my background is in nursing. I've been a nurse for 13 or 14 years now. So back in 15, I was just starting to like feel the strain of the medical industry shifting a little bit and feeling like, I don't know. I had never really considered being an entrepreneur at that time. So I was feeling like a little unfulfilled in my career and a little stressed out, but I didn't really know any other way. So I hadn't explored anything enough to be disappointed that I hadn't found a way out yet. It's just kind of how life was, you know? And I had a little bit of debt and a little bit of extra money every couple of weeks. And I was like, yeah, starting to feel like maybe this isn't like my best life, you know? And I was really, really excited on the weekends. I would go shopping, buy tons of good food, spend time hiking and working out. And then that like Sunday would creep in and I'd be like feeling the pressure again, you know? And a girlfriend came up to me and introduced me to a network marketing product. And I had no clue what she was doing. Like she tossed me some products and I was just kind of like, whatever, I have similar products, like went right over my head. And then a guy on her team, if any of you are in network marketing, you know, and you don't know all these terms, a guy on her team had earned his car. And I'm like, what do you mean he earned his car? So she earned her car. And then this mystery man, Christian, earned his car. And then I was kind of like, I need a new car, you know? And so I'm like, I think I want to do this thing with you. And she goes, girl, you didn't even try those products I gave you like 6 weeks ago or 2 months ago or whatever. Like, it's not just about the car. Like it's a feeling better. It's a lifestyle change. Network marketing is all about helping people and this and that. And I was kind of like, okay, cool. I'll try it. So long story short, I tried it. I loved it. And I went to like a home party and I met the infamous Christian who had just earned his car. And that's my husband today, which is nuts. And he and I became really good friends. We ended up growing those businesses, both of our network marketing businesses, to income replacing levels within about 6 months time. And like I said, I didn't know anything about business. And then, so that was like venture number one. And then we slowly got into the personal development realm. We started learning a ton about mindset. We were speaking at these network marketing events and kind of like Tony Robbins style, like bringing like the deep mind blowing information to a crowd of people that really, they just really wanted to like replace their income. And it was kind of like irrelevant to them. And we realized, holy cow, we're like personal development coaches in a way. Like we want to speak on stages. We want the masses to feel moved and begin to like realize that they too can get out and create the wealth that they desire. They too can change their lives. People can do whatever they want to do in their life and live an abundant life being themselves. And so that's always been my motto. You're here to live an abundant life being you. I truly believe that to my core. I believe that there's an avenue that everyone has where you can monetize your message. You can create wealth doing what you're most passionate about. That thing that you think that you'll do when all the things are in place. Like once I make 6 figures a year independently, I'm going to go to the gym every day and I'm going to go to the beach every day. And all those things that you will do when that goal has been met. I have learned over the last 7 years that those things are the gateway to actually meeting that goal. Meaning that the more time we spend doing what we love, the higher our vibration is, the higher our energy is, the more passion we wake up with every day because we know we get to spend our days doing what we love, then the faster we hit that goal. So that's my little tangent to explain to you. Network marketing, coaching, tons and tons of mindset stuff. We did a world tour. We spoke on stages. We were able to bring that dream to life. And then for the last few years, we've been working from the comfort of our home, helping other entrepreneurs, other coaches, other network marketers, anyone who's really here to live an abundant life being themselves. We now have all the tools that they need, and we teach people how to do that too.
I love that. And I had to write down, you're here to live an abundant life being you.
Yeah.
I love that so much. And, since you touched on the personal development side, and so many people are so like not even into personal development, but the people that listen to this are, because they can't run away from it when they listen to the things that I talk about. So,
Yep.
but what are some of the biggest breakthroughs that you and Christian have had as individuals and as a couple while growing? Because when you're heavy in mindset, you're heavy in this industry of like constantly changing and becoming the next best version of yourself.
Yeah.
Like there's so many dark nights of the soul. There's so,
Oh my gosh. So many. Yeah. I guess, gosh, I love this question. And it's really deep, deep stuff. This is the deep stuff. That question and the answer to it and the way everyone hears this when they hear you ask it really determines the people that become successful doing what they want to do versus the ones that don't. I think that's how important that question is, because there have been so many times where it's been like really heavy and felt overwhelming and been way easier to just go do something else, right? Because the entrepreneurial journey is the greatest personal development journey on the planet. And I remember explaining shifting from 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship as trading depression for anxiety at first. That's how it felt to me. It was like, okay, I'm not trapped anymore, but now I'm super overwhelmed. Now my livelihood depends on my ability to continue facing my fears and push through even when I'm tired and make miracles happen myself. The security is not there the same way. And so that's why this question is so important. And I think the answer is like the 2 most simple words on the planet, yet so deep: faith and belief. Right?
Amen.
Like, amen. It's so true. It's really just like learning how to not judge the future by the past, to go, no, this is what I'm creating. I'm creating this. I don't care what yesterday looked like. I don't care what last week looked like. I don't care that big bad news I just got. My focus is going to stay on this outcome that I am consciously creating. I am unaffected by the environment around me and what's showing up. This is where we're going. That's how powerful the mind is. And when you do have multiple wins mixed in with those dark nights of the soul, you build the muscle of belief and faith, and you're able to stay focused on that. But as you scale as an online entrepreneur, any sort of entrepreneur, those challenges don't go away. They just look a little bit different. And so that muscle that you're building through the beginning stages is what's going to carry you through the high level stages that you're aiming for, because you will constantly be tested in that way. So to answer your question, the biggest breakthroughs is like really holding that faith and continuing to build towards what your desired outcome, knowing for sure that it will be, that outcome will be. The way to bring that outcome to fruition more quickly is not to fall victim to the way that things are showing up.
Yeah. And that faith is so real. And okay, so before we did this, I was in a Bible study group, and then I was getting ready, listening to scripture, and Proverbs 3 came up, and it was like, lean not on your own understanding. And for you to just, say that, it's constantly something that I've been working with. I've been spending so much time with God and knowing like I'm, driven by that purpose, and like, this is the way I'm moving. And any doubt, like, yeah, I am minding my business in this season. I'm aware of what's going on, yeah, but I think you have to have, if you really want to achieve what you need to achieve, you have to be laser focused on your goal. And any doubt that comes in, that's just no, it's just not an option. And I mean, that's really what I'm hearing you say, and getting used to really flexing that mindset and muscle of being like, okay, that's not for me. Like, I'm not going to subscribe to that idea.
Yeah.
Has really helped you.
Yes. And there's a deeper level to that too, because exactly what you said is so spot on. And lately I've found a deeper level of that, because that got me really far. But then there was like this residual buildup inside of me that had me noticing that I'm like reacting to things in relationships and in other circumstances, like kind of like, oh shoot, I'm bottling some emotions up. Like I've been actually like really good at saying, no, I don't subscribe to that. Let me focus on this. No, thank you. This, so long that I was like, oh, okay. That reaction was a little like extreme for the circumstance. So let me explore that. And so what I started doing when I had feelings come up and thoughts come up and things come up for me is like really just sitting and holding space for myself. And a way that I like to do that is actually to look in the mirror and kind of like coach myself through some feelings, but it's really more about holding space for the feelings and being conscious for me that I'm not just shoving them down, because I do have a tendency to do that, and being like, okay, what part of me is hurting right now? And like, what's really going on there? And what do you really feel? And what are you actually afraid of? And being able to like coach myself into the deeper level of like that thing that you kind of wouldn't want to admit to your friend if you were sharing your feelings with a friend. It's like a deep layer of like, ooh, what I'm actually afraid of is that. Ooh, that doesn't feel good. Like I almost don't want to admit that to myself. But when I give myself the grace to do that and the time to do that and go, oh my gosh, I hear you. I feel you. I'm here for you. Like it's normal that you feel that way. It makes perfect sense that you feel that way. And that doesn't mean that that's going to happen, or that doesn't mean that that's true. And what if this is more true? Like almost like what people would call like inner child work.
Yeah.
Like going, okay, sweetie, like I totally feel you in that. And that like, I hear you. And
yeah,
it's okay.
No, I love that too. I love that, because it's like, and what I automatically thought of was, totally. I didn't feel a specific emotion.
Yeah.
But when I do, yes, I love to acknowledge, find the lie. Ooh. Somebody else said this, find a lie and then tell yourself another lie, a better lie.
That's good.
Like, because we don't know. Because the future is totally a mystery, yeah, in the grand scheme of things. So whatever you need to tell yourself in that moment. And I love that and that's one thing I need to be more intentional on, is making sure that I if I do feel triggered, if I do feel some type of way, I'm like, hold on, let me hold space. Why do I feel this way?
Yeah.
Let me dig a little deeper. Okay, where's the lie? All right, no, we're not doing it. Like,
That's great.
acknowledge and heal.
Yeah.
Healing is so important. And I love that you brought that in. Like, thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Healing is so important, especially when we're talking business and we're talking like forward motion, yo, go, 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 and this and that. It's all fun stuff. But from what I've seen, is the deeper healing of the deeper things that we don't know are preventing us from taking the action that we know would get the results. Like people think they procrastinate, for instance, but it's like, no, there's a big, deep fear down there inside of you somewhere that when you achieve that and you do this thing, this big bad thing might happen. So that's not procrastination. That's like your own body trying to protect yourself. This stuff is real. And when we go and we heal these things, then the fear's not there anymore. Then the action is easy to take. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not just procrastinating. You're built to prevent yourself from getting hurt in some way. So if you're about to go out and make all this money and change your life and do all these great things, and you feel like that makes you a victim in your friend circle or just in your community somehow, then deep down, there's things working inside of you to prevent that from happening to you. That's powerful stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And for me, like the thing, I guess the next question I have, especially when it comes to business and sales and everything like that, how did you, being a nurse that never had to ask for the sale, how did you get comfortable with the rejection?
That's a really good question that I have not explored for a long time. How did I get comfortable with the rejection? At that time in my life, I was going through a really big learning phase of like the fact that other people's stuff wasn't mine. So I was learning that it wasn't all about me, that it didn't mean anything about me. And I think in network marketing, rejection comes so frequently and so fast that's a really quick way to get used to rejection, because you're being asked, it depends on the way you do it. Like we're not advocates for like go out and spam your friends and family at all. In fact, we love to teach strategies that make it so people never have to do that. But when we started, that's what we were taught to do.
Mm-hmm.
And when you
which most people in network marketing are taught to do.
Totally. Yeah. And that's a big disaster. It's a disaster waiting to happen. And I had some really hard judgmental conversations with friends. Like I had some friends say some crazy stuff to me. And looking back, it's like, okay, well, the truth is I should have never tried to sell that to them because they didn't show any need for that whatsoever. And they didn't come to me. And in business in general now, our whole focus is on attracting people that you can help. So it never really feels like you're selling anything at all. But back in the day, I didn't know that. So I was sharing this thing with everyone.
That's your approach. It's the attraction approach. That's what it is.
That's right. What we mentioned earlier. Yeah. I mean, it's a totally different ball game when you're putting something amazing out into the world and you've done it in a strategic way to create that inbound effect, we call it, where people are like, oh my gosh, I understand what you're selling. I totally need that. You're speaking straight to me. How can I buy that thing? How can I work with you? Tell me more about this. Tell me more about that. When people are coming to you, business is a whole different ball game than when you feel like you have to do something or sell something. It's an absolutely different game, right?
It's so much more restrictive. I just feel constrained when you're talking about it the way like, oh, you have to go out and do that. It versus no, people just want you. They want what you have to offer. They want what you're putting out. And I love that you like really help so many people do that with high ticket sales too. It's not, we're not talking about like little things.
Right. Yeah.
And you're doing this during the pandemic. You're doing this like
yeah. And speaking of that, it's been amazing because a lot of people before the pandemic were kind of like I described myself at the beginning of this conversation, like wanting to do a passion project, but didn't really know, and just doing the grind because it's a habit. And then the pandemic hit and everybody had to get really creative. And so many people already knew what they really, really, really wanted to do. And finally, the world presented the perfect opportunity and said, well, you better do it because you need to do it now. And so, speaking of doing what we do during the pandemic, it was like a ton of people came to us because we had positioned ourselves as the ones that can help you do that, which we are. And so when all these people said, oh my gosh, I'm going to launch the business I've always wanted to launch because now I'm at home, and they said, who can help me grow this? Then that's when they reached out to us. So this last couple of years has been phenomenal as far as business goes, because everybody finally started stepping into their purpose out of necessity. Because sometimes that desire isn't just big enough by itself until there's like a necessity. And then all of a sudden people start taking action, you know.
Who do you find to be the most successful in business? Because you've worked with a lot of entrepreneurs. And I know it's not necessarily a certain personality type, but there are certain characteristics that people do tend to have.
That's the best question ever. It's the people who are willing to help the most people, regardless of whether they get paid or not, essentially. And I'm not saying to go give everything away for free, because it's not that at all. But it's the people that don't start to become like resentful that they're spending time doing like sales calls or helping people in little ways here and there. The people that I've seen be the most successful are the people that are like, wake up every day. Who can I help with my gift? Who can I help with my gift? Who can I help with my gift? And that's when I've been the most successful too, through all the phases of business. For me, it's like, I have tangible proof that those months when I've just been like, I'm going to talk, like I'm opening up my schedule to help. Who can I help? Who can I help? Who can I help? And then those are the months where like clients just come out of the blue and they're like, I've been following you for a while. You don't know who I am, but I really want to work with you because I helped 20 other people over here. And so that's when the abundance flows, is to the people who really truly wake up with the intention of service, who are blessed the most financially from what I've seen, which is just so magical. Like, I love that the world works that way.
How do you get in that heart posture? If you're a person, like, so let's say somebody's listening or watching this and they're like, I've been knocked down. This season's been hella hard. Like I'm so stressed out. How do they shift into that type of heart posture?
By knowing that they're always divinely guided, protected, and cared for, regardless. So it's the people that don't count like the dollars coming in from business. They just know that they're taken care of, and they open themselves up to the magic of how that gets to look. So if I know that my bills are paid and I'm cared for no matter what, and I have abundance of everything I could possibly need, then I'm just going to go help as many people as possible with the tools that I have so that they can create that too. And then just as a side effect, because I know I'm safe, because people talk about like not having scarce mindset and getting out of like not being attached to the outcome and all that stuff. Same thing. Because I know that enrolling a client isn't what pays my bills. I know that my bills are already paid, and this might be one way that it comes through this month. And if it's not, no problem, because I'm already taken care of.
So you're not coming from you don't have that energy of lack. Right. You have an energy of abundance already.
Yeah. That was a huge lesson for me. I can speak on it so clearly, and so like, I hope it hits home deeply for so many people, because I did not understand that. I can only speak to it now because of how much it took for me to learn it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, how did you pull yourself out of some of like the hardest situations? I mean, people can look at you now and be like, well, she doesn't have any problems. She's never like dealt with any. It's just been easy for her. Listen, that's not Amber's story.
That's not my story at all. I go forward towards the end of my life, and I look back and I make decisions based on my perspective from that space. and I say like, what am I going to be really happy that I did in this life? And ooh, I'm getting a little teary-eyed here. I look back and I make decisions based on whether I'm going to be really, really happy that I did something, or whether I'm going to be really disappointed that I did, or whether it just doesn't really mean so much. And then I think about, well, what really means a lot? And that's what I spend my time and energy on. The things that really mean a lot from that perspective.
And y'all are so big on impact. Y'all really are. And I love that. I can just tell that about y'all too. And you've never been the type of person that's like salesy. Like since I've known you, like I've
Thank
never felt like and that's not how you want to feel. I know that you're a
you.
person that is of service, like, and that is like, it's just, you just exude this different type of energy. And it's
Thank
just, guys, you got to go follow her on like her
Mm.
platforms. Definitely join the group because her and Christian have such a good, pure energy. And you know how I am about energy, because I will tell you if somebody's not. Like,
Thank you for that.
absolutely.
It means a lot. And that's part of living an abundant life, being you. I want everyone to be able to be that full facet of themselves. There's no reason why we need hustle and weird sales tactics and everything. Right? I mean, if everyone just went out and was the fullest version of themselves and allowed abundance to come to them, allowed people to come to them for whatever service they offer, sell authentically, allow people to say yes or no, stand in your power, of course, learn the skills, have the skills, because you're in a market where a lot of people can hire you or someone else. So you do have to have the skills, but you don't want to, you don't need persuasion or force or anything like that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a fan of those sales tactics whatsoever. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to make somebody feel pressured to work with me.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I just, no, I want them to know that they need what I have to offer, but I don't want it to be like they feel constrained to work with me.
Of course. That would be a really bad start to a relationship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's just, no,
Yep.
that's not what I ever want to exude. But what do you have going on now? What are you looking for forward to for 2022?
Oh my gosh. I'm coaching a lot on mindset and wealth consciousness and all the things that we're talking about today. And I'm really excited to go a lot deeper with people who have established business and are really wanting to take it to the next level without having to work more time, right? Without having to spend more time. I want people to know that the deeper work that they're doing, like when I go to the beach and sit in meditation and do some healing, that is just as much of an income producing activity than me doing whatever like computer task that needs to be done. Like that is just as, if not more important. And so I'm really, really excited about helping, like I said, other entrepreneurs who are already established, just really take it to that next level, getting their mindset right, getting their wealth consciousness right, raising financial thermostat so that they're able to safely raise that level of wealth that they're bringing into their life without creating any sort of turmoil inside their body. Because like I said, your body's keeping you safe, and we want to bring that new level of wealth and change in your business and your life in with your body and your whole being still feeling really, really comfortable about what you're doing so that it's easy.
Oh, I love that. And that hit for me too, because it's like so when, and there's so much like childhood trauma for a lot of people that have a screwed up money mindset,
Right.
around their worth and around like what they're capable of having, or maybe losing it, or saving, and those types of things. So your work that's so phenomenal that you do that.
Thank you.
No, that's great. Yeah, no, you're gonna have a great year.
I'm
You
so
you
excited.
always do. And I love that you said that piece about being out in nature, meditating on the beach, and and including those tasks as well, that you do on the computer. Because yes, where you're coming from, if you're truly connected in your source and in your power, and we need nature, we need to be outside. um Black people need to be in nature more than they are. I tell you that we need at least 5 hours of sunlight. So
Yep. Yeah. And you're making me realize something too. It's like, how can you multitask, right? So for me, I hadn't really thought about this till you just said that. I go out and I ride my bike every day and I make stories on my Instagram and I make content while I'm out doing these things. So anyone listening that's growing a business, because I know I felt at first like I had to sit at this computer for so many hours. There was so much stuff to get done. And I sacrificed self-care and I sacrificed what I love to do. And it was really painful. And so without meaning to now, I have absolutely began to multitask those things. Because when I'm out on my bike having fun and feeling inspired and having an idea that can help people, I'm going to go live right now and share that thing. So again, just a little tip there, you can multitask these things. And I always go to this, I really, really want to take a minute to focus on. When you've hit that goal, when you've created that thing, when you've bought that house, when you bought that new car, or whatever tangible thing helps you stay motivated to your goal because you can feel it and taste it and smell it. Whenever that thing is done, or that monthly revenue has been hit consistently for a few months to where you trust that's your new truth, then what will you do with your time? What's the thing that you're not doing now that you're saving for like a reward once you hit that goal? I'm telling you, that's the gateway to hitting that goal. Spending more time doing that thing that you will do once that goal is met.
I love that. Like, and I realized the other day too, it's like, oh my goodness, I get to speak to amazing people all the time. Like that ain't gonna change when I'm a multimillionaire. I'm gonna still speak to like amazing people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna still get out in nature. I'm gonna still, have the time to like make my day the way I want it to be. And it's like, I've just been in this energy where it's like, I'm spending time with God, I'm spending time with phenomenal people, and I'm creating a life that I absolutely love. And it's like, oh, there's a certain part of me that wanted this before, and I had this thought last night too. It's like, how do you expect to have this, for some it's 6, 7, 8-figure business without a proper foundation, without, without like some disciplines? Like you might reach a 6-figure goal, but your foundation is screwed and you can still maintain that, but you're not going to reach that next level.
Exactly.
How, let's start now first with the foundation. Now, granted, there's different things for different levels. Absolutely. But where your prep work is so important, just like with painting, with anything you do, your prep work is real. And people, we do this so backwards. We miss the mindset work. We miss a lot of the parts that we need to have in place. And then we're like, oh crap, I wish I knew this sooner. Yeah.
Yeah. Big time. So true. Test it out. Anyone listening, test it out. Take 5-10 minutes to meditate, connect, hear divine guidance before you take action in your day, and watch how vastly different it is than grinding it out all day trying to force pieces to fit. Yet we feel pressure to like get going and do it, and we skip the most important step so often. And what my husband always says this: what it takes to build it is what it takes to maintain it. So when you think about 12-hour days and this and that and pushing this and that, you can expect that in 5 years if you buy into his amazing idea here. But at the same time, on the opposite side of that coin, going to the beach, riding your bike, centering, grounding, feeling into all of that, and then taking a little bit of action to build that same 6-figure year, then guess what? In 5 years, that's what you'll still be doing. Going to the beach, riding your bike, centering. Build it the right way. Build it the way you want to maintain it.
I love that. That's the gem right there. Build it the way you want to maintain it.
Right?
Yeah, you don't want to just be doing the same struggle bus forever.
No.
No. There's so
No.
many parts of entrepreneurship. Like the best part is that you get to make it the way you want to. Especially with the internet, we get to do business so different now.
Right.
Even since COVID, there's restaurants that are only open like 4 days out the week, you know?
Yeah, I know. And they're fine with that. That's their new
Exactly.
normal. Yeah. And they're busier on those days. They make more money now than they did when they were open 7 days a week because everybody knows they're not open all the time.
Their overhead's low. Chick-fil-A started out that way. We closed on Sunday, you know? It didn't stop people from going to Chick-fil-A. People just want
Yeah, you're just busier on Saturday.
people just want it more on Sunday and be like, man, all right.
Yeah, good point. It's so true.
And not being, I think that also goes into like having proper boundaries with your work, because your work is not your entire life. While it might be your purpose, it might be your calling, you still got other parts of your life like family, friends, your activities that you do. You still want to make time for those things. You want to live the full life that you have. And I know that that probably goes into mind for you when you are thinking about forward thinking back on like, is this going to take up so much of my time?
Right. Yeah, actually, it's interesting because I think about it now because I've moved closer to my dad, which is amazing, right down the street. And I'm consciously deciding to make more and more time to spend time with family. And because for years I didn't. And so to your point, I moved away from all my friends not that long ago. And it's like looking back, how much more time could I have spent with all those friends? I was building business.
You should get on Bumble BFF.
Bumble BFF.
Yes, girl.
What is this?
You would do so good because you already know the type of people you want in your life. You would do so good on there.
I have to write that down. Bumble
I feel
BFF.
like a straight up, like I've gotten off, I've gotten on, I've gotten off. I need to get back off because I haven't been paying attention. But I mean, I'm telling you, like the best people have come into my life. Like
Oh,
I have created because being a military wife, I've got, I constantly move and I've
yep.
constantly got to make new friends. And people say that it's hard to make friends as an adult. I claim that to be bullshit. It is not. And I mean, there's very well established women on there. Like one of my friends that I met on there, she's a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force and she's about to be a commander. She's moving away to California and she's going to be 37 next month. Another friend is a captain. She's about to be 40. So it's not like it's just a bunch of young people on there either.
Mm-hmm.
I have a few, I met 3 of my therapist friends on there. And, I like to have authentic conversations. So, I mean, I'm saving,
Yeah, that's great. Holy cow. I'm going on there. Thank you for that. Bumble BFF.
Yeah. Putting
That's
that you want genuine and authentic relationships, people that like want to work out with you, go on bike rides, then you'll find you know what to put.
That's amazing. How cool is that? Technology these days, right?
Then you just go, you'll have time to make those new friends and girl, it's gonna do so much for your
Especially being
life.
in a new city.
Because
I'm in a new city. I've only been here less than 2 years. So it's perfect. I want to meet new friends.
And I'm telling you, like having those friends, especially in the wintertime for me, has been so nice to be like, girl, listen, I'm going through this. Like I had a really bad like depression spell in December.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, the amount, like the community I've built here, it's so real. Like I wasn't going to the gym like I used to because I wasn't working with my trainer anymore. I was in church, but it still like wasn't the same. Like it's cold, but my friends, I could just be like, hey, I'm, like when they would reach out and I would be like, yeah, no, I feel bad. Like they were still there for me.
Oh my gosh.
Those people that like, I literally have my friends on my calendar now. And it's just like, because I speak to only a certain level of female that does a certain level of personal development. They're out there.
I hear you.
Oh goodness. It's just, it gets you through what you're going through so much faster.
Amazing. Yeah, that's the amazing part about being in this online space with such incredible leaders. Just like when you and I met, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, soul sister right there. I found one. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Can't wait to talk to you again. That's powerful stuff. You're right. You nailed it. There's a certain level of people who have a certain outlook on life that we want to surround ourselves with, right? Yeah.
And you grow in so many areas, like, and they're so giving. Is
Oh,
when you attract people that are like you, girl, you go find
I
a whole bunch
know.
of yous. Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they promote your business because you started your new brick. You started a brick and mortar, right?
Yes. I started an airbrush tanning company. It's launching as we speak. Yep. So I'm networking locally too. And I found the same thing, because it's just offering, like, this is just giving. Like, when you build a brand locally, it's just giving. You want to give to the people who want to share your work, right? And you want to treat people really well, and you want to take really good care of people. And you get in response, come in for this free thing. I owe you this thing, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's all these incredible women. Now I'm surrounded by beauty industry women that we all just want to collaborate. And that's powerful. I know. So now I can give back to my hairdresser and give back to my nail girl and promote each other's stuff on my page, because now I have a local beauty page. And that's great for local beauty people. And I never really understood the power of local business because, as I said, I did network marketing, now global coaching marketing. It's like, that's global. We have clients in like so many countries all over the world. Now it's like, ooh, it's this little at home thing. And have girlfriends that do cool things like really cool facials and all sorts of amazing beauty things that women my age love to start, exploring and experimenting with. And it's like,
Pop-up shops would be great for you.
right.
Also, like, like I know a restaurant owner, she has like a women's business, like networking thing
Networking.
that, like, that's so cool. And it's all local. Like, there's so much in those grassroots local things because people buy from who they know, like, and trust. And
Right.
when you get to do that, face to face, world's opening back up. um and it's just like, I also was like so online, and now I'm starting to be a lot more in person as
Yeah.
well. Not
Mhm.
not getting offline, but like sharing in person, and it really helps. I feel like, when, for me, like, I know a lot of online like influencers and stuff like that, they're not social in public.
Oh, I never even thought about that.
Like, they're like to themselves. It's
Yeah.
so interesting to like watch. I
Oh,
met this one girl, I was at a thrift store, and she's a thrifter that like has a whole following on YouTube of like 40,000 people. But she did not seem like an outgoing
approachable.
person whatsoever. And I'm just like, what?
I never even thought about that because I'm so outgoing myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you asked me earlier about the network marketing and the, rejection and everything, it's because I just walk up to people and talk to them naturally. And if someone's at the grocery store debating between two items, I'll tell them which my favorite one is.
Yes.
So I never even thought about online influencers being like standoffish because I really never had any need to think about it. But that's interesting. And and if you really think about it, that's the magic right there, that anyone can start a business being their themselves, every facet of themselves. You're here to live an abundant life being you. Guess what? You're not outgoing. You don't want to go talk to people at the grocery store. Then you can start an online business and obviously do very well being yourself. Like, back to the whole point,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And enjoying the journey is so important. We as humans, we're always trying to go like to the next level, next level. But when do you celebrate being where you are?
This level, yeah. Yep. I think that comes so many years later. Like, I look back on those early days and I think of those as like the good old times in some ways, because I had my job and I had my new business and I was making like double money because I had both. And the world was just like so fascinating to me at that time. And it still is. Obviously, things have progressed forward, but that level of awe that existed back then, and in a way that was really magical. So I think, to your point, how do we maintain that presence and find that appreciation and gratitude right now for what's happening right now, instead of only seeing it in hindsight?
Yeah, because a former version of you wished to be where she was right now.
For sure.
Like, even me, like, there's a former version of me that kind of like wished for like this process. Like,
Yeah.
it wished for like this, like, left my day job. I still have my serving job, which I love. Like, I just love the people interaction. I don't know, until I can actually be like speaking on a continual basis and doing like live events on a continual basis. I don't know if I can just give that up, because it's like, I need to be around people.
Right.
But that's besides the point. Like, there was a certain version of me that like wished to be like having the freedom of my day,
Yeah.
like, what? Not being on somebody else's
Congratulations,
time.
by the way.
Hmm?
Huge congrats on that.
Thank you.
Huge. And you always have the ability to go back to that place in your mind's eye and sit and feel into when 8 hours were consumed, or 9, and then all the hustle around. Like, you always have the ability to go, oh, I don't have that. I'm so lucky. Yay. I do it all the time. I do. I'm like I don't even mean to consciously I'm like not an affirmation person. I don't like go, okay, I got to do my affirmations today. They're all written out. But I can tell you this. I walk around talking to myself about how grateful I am for things all the time. Even when I'm walking down the street and riding my bike and cars are driving by, and I'm just going, holy cow, I live in paradise. Thank you so much. I have the potential to do this and that. And I love my clients and I love my friends. And like, it's just a whole little other mindset facet we didn't really talk about today. It's
Be
just
in a
like
constant state of gratitude.
yeah. And then just going, holy cow, it's warm out. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much that it's warm out. And I feel the sun on my skin, and there's a breeze, and I love this and I love that. And it's green here. And I'm so grateful. And my skin feels good. My hair feels good. Like, yeah, I mean, I would encourage everyone to just try walking around for like 5 minutes, just noticing all the amazing things. And maybe you'll like just like constantly doing that, because I'll tell you what, it makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it really easy when someone reaches out for help with something to be like, yeah, I know how to do that. Let me show you how to do that. Like I said, that helping so much more people, what creates success is like just giving. Well, it's really easy to give when I'm walking around feeling like the luckiest person in the world and someone needs help with something that I know how to do. It's pretty easy to say, yeah, sure thing. Let me help you with that. Because life is awesome.
Seriously. Seriously. Oh my goodness. This was so good, Amber. Oh, I love it. Well, guys, definitely check her out. Like I told you before, you would want to be in more of her energy, more of her space. So definitely click the links below. Amber, it was such a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. Such a pleasure for me too.
Absolutely.